stay out today.
Big bales, I think. Bales or something.
Cow. I love cows.
Don't go too fast.
Don't do what?
Don't go too fast because I'm trying to figure out what to do. I guess you just follow the route.
This is ZZ.
0.2 miles, we go left onto ZZ Wilson's Creek Boulevard. Then in 1.4 miles, we go, looks like a turnabout, but it's, we want to go to West Farm Road, 182. Nope, Four Tops. I get the Four Tops and Temptation sometimes mixed up. Does what?
Screw this up too.
Oh, I mean, how about the Battle of Concord?
Battle of what?
How about not the Battle of Lexington, the Battle of Concord?
Yeah, it's up near where we live.
Wait, you live near Concord?
What?
You live near the battle? Well, the Battle of Concord
I
took
mean,
place?
it's not real close. It's, we have to drive an hour or something.
Now it's driving trail instead of walking along where the soldiers walk. Yeah, he died in 2023.
Who did?
David Bowie?
No, Gary Wright.
Who's this we were talking about?
He was 80.
80.
You got my phone, right?
Yep.
He had Lewy body dementia.
I can't wait to see the battle.
They might have a reenactment.
Doesn't make sense.
So we're not gonna.
We got
What the heck? There's two cannons up there. Let's take a photo. Hey guys, I think I see something I've never seen before. Two cannons.
Why am I here? Because I literally don't like this at all. No offense to the people who like it. In my opinion, I just hate it. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Oh God.
Up by the cannon.
Oh, there he is. Did you want to get rid of your coat?
No. There's honeysuckles. I need to grab some.
You have my phone, right?
Is this a honeysuckle? It's not honeysuckle. Never mind, those weren't honeysuckles. I just sipped the nectar out of a random honeysuckle looking flower.
I thought that was great. A van.
Looks like
How
him.
could it be? He's up there on the hill. Why don't you go play with the camera and with the cannons?
No. I want to go back in the car. Will you go inside?
Yeah.
Yay, finally.
I'm missing a bee on Battlefield.
Battlefield?
Adelaide, aren't those cannons cool?
No. You're lame. I'm just a girl who doesn't like stuff like that.
Those cannons are cool.
Unless it's some crazy stuff on a phone. Hello. Yeah, we have. Well, we have.
Long time ago.
Whoa.
You see, they've ringed all the outside instead of walking out on the trail.
Are two cannons?
Yeah.
They're pretty neat.
Here's your pictures.
Oh, those are cool.
There's a map on the battlefield on that there if you guys want to go through it.
I want to see.
So now it's drive-through.
Yeah, you can drive through. You can also walk if you want to do it. So it's a 5 mile loop, and there's trails that go through the
I
battlefield.
thought I saw one of those.
Is that a life size? Is that a life size portrait of a cannon? Is that like a life size one?
in this
Look
country.
at that.
We were here in '84.
It's not a portrait cam, it's a statue.
Yeah, but that's cool
Then
though.
you actually walk down, you can see where they carved the names on stones. You actually felt like you were there in battle. Now it's sterilized.
Well, I hope you just get to have some time to do it.
Wait, so this is not even the actual battle? Yeah, like not the actual battle.
Do they still have that,
Those new.
the only thing that was really cool inside this was they had the battle with lights.
Yes, we do have that back here at the museum.
Well, yeah, I just want to see the cannons. So I want to see.
Theater chairs. I've never been in the front of a theater before.
You sound like such a bitter person.
I know, it just pisses me off.
Well, I know, but it's not her fault.
Hmm?
What did you say?
Wanted to know if we wanted her to turn the movie on.
Who's her?
The girl at the desk.
1861.
Yeah, but like Grandpa said her. Who's
The
the...
girl that just said that.
No, you have to stay here.
I'll go with him. I can watch over him. No, I can watch him.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, we'll have a video and stuff.
How long is this?
As one of the survivors of that famous battle, how vividly after all these years is the scene impressed on my mind. On that day, to my youthful imagination and enthusiasm, we had the most formidable and powerful army on earth. And I greatly wondered at the foolhardy audacity of the rebels in daring to give us battle. In my company was a great, brawny-fisted, big-hearted fellow by the name of Moody. He had protected, befriended, and shielded me on many an occasion. I looked up to and loved him as an older brother. In a moment, we were on the double road. On our way up, we passed dead and wounded soldiers. And for the first time, I heard the pitiful cries of men wounded and dying. A short time after we had opened fire, I noticed Moody suddenly wheel about, then fall over on his hands and knees and crawl rapidly to the rear. I could not realize that my great, strong friend was hurt. The next moment, the truth flashed over me.
With his of the President in 86, Abraham Lincoln had stopped growth of expansion into the new Western territories. Stoked a wildfire in Fort across the South, causing 7 states to secede from the Union in protest and form the Confederate States of America. Like these rebellious states, Missouri's citizens had the right to own slaves. Yet by a 70,000 majority, its male residents had recently voted to remain in the Union. On April 12, 1861, Confederate forces bombarded Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina, starting the American Civil War. President Lincoln asked for 75,000 volunteers to put down the rebellion. 4 more southern states seceded from the Union. secession fever spread throughout Missouri's slaveholding regions.
A wonderful reaction has been taking place with our people. Thousands are now secessionists who were but a few short months ago for the Union, the Constitution, and the enforcement of laws. Conquer or die is our motto.
In St. Louis, the 8th largest city in the nation, pro-Union German immigrants were the biggest ethnic population.
Since we Germans at that time were looked upon us as belonging to an unworthy nation, and Americans, old and young, looked upon us with contempt and disdain, I would enlist in the Northern Army and stick to the Union.
But Missouri had no rigid dividing lines. Home to home, farm to farm, its residents were a volatile mix of social, ethnic, and political differences. As spring dawned in 1861, an unknown army captain, fresh from bleeding Kansas, would force many Missourians to choose a side. Nathaniel Lyon, a 42-year-old Connecticut native and West Point graduate, had a hot temper. Leading U.S. troops in Kansas during the Border War, he had developed a sharp hatred for slaveholders. Since taking charge of the defense of the federal arsenal in St. Louis, he had worked tirelessly to keep Missouri in Union control. In May 1861 at St. Louis, Lyon captured the state militia, many of whom were secessionists, inciting a riot among pro-Southern civilians that resulted in 28 people killed, including 2 teenage children and an infant. In early June, Lyon abruptly ended negotiations at a St. Louis meeting with Missouri politicians.
Rather than concede to the state of Missouri for one single instant the right to dictate to my government in any matter, however unimportant, I would see every man, woman, and child in the state dead and buried. This means war.
6 days later, after a decisive fight at Boonville, Lyon had money, support, and recruits, and he scattered the rebellious elements of the Missouri state legislature. The Connecticut Yankee had arguably achieved more than any general in the Union Army up to that time in the war, but his momentum was melting away. Lyon's hardline actions over the past few months also compelled many Missouri men to risk their lives for the Southern cause. As part of the newly created Missouri State Guard, these men were not yet Confederates, but Missourians serving in the Southern defense of their state. By mid-July, in camps in southwest Missouri, they had swelled to nearly 7,000 men. Their leader was a well-known Missouri politician and Mexican war hero, Sterling Price. Before the war, he'd worked hard to keep the Show-Me state in the Union. Now, the 52-year-old Virginia native found himself creating a rebel army from scratch. With a pro-Union government in firm control of the state, Price's Missouri State Guard lacked almost everything essential for soldiering, except horses and determination.
We had all kinds of arms except up-to-date Army guns. We had squirrel rifles, shotguns, and occasionally an old musket that had probably been used in the Mexican War 16 years before.
Thousands remained unarmed. In May, Arkansas had formally joined the Confederacy, and on her northern border, another 5,000 rebels camped but a few days' march from Price's Missouri. These men were the combined forces of Confederate Brigadier General Benjamin McCulloch. A former Texas Ranger, McCulloch doubted the fighting abilities of Price and his ragtag Missouri State Guardsmen. Both of their armies lacked supplies and lived off the land. As the two Southern generals spent the month of July figuring their next move, their 12,000, literally ate up the countryside. By August 6th, Price and McCullough's combined forces, now called the Western Army, settled into a valley just 10 miles southwest of Springfield.
Why would there be a pill here?
Crops and livestock were plentiful. A meandering water source also provided relief for the men and animals during that dry, hot August. But for the people living around Wilson's Creek, the land and their lives would never be the same. John and Roxana Ray farmed 440 acres in the valley surrounding Wilson's Creek. Though slaveholders, like many in southwest Missouri, the Rays were decidedly pro-Union.
Hold on.